Welcome everyone to our first international edition of Unicornio Pitch. So far, we have been very lucky to meet and work with some of the top minds of Mexico's entrepreneurial system. Still, today we have a pristine chance to open our horizons and we set eyes to the east. And if you don't know this guy, I recommend you Google him because I can only say a fraction of all the amazing things he has done. From Israel to the world, he is considered a guru of startups, having founded 14 accelerators since 2012. He has served as an advisory board member for plenty of companies and departments of Homeland Security, a professional speaker as well as a TEDx speaker. Please raise to welcome the one and only Tal Catran.
Hi, Kori, and I'm very excited to be here. Actually, my youngest, she loves unicorns. So wherever I go in the world, she wants me to buy her a unicorn. So I'm very familiar with Kori's likes. Thank you.
Tal, thank you so much for being with us today. From so far away, I think that our viewers, being mostly Mexican, have never heard a name like yours. Would you mind sharing with us, what is the meaning of your name?
My first name is Tal, and Tal is the dew, the morning rain that you have. By the way, this name is used by men and women in Israel. And Catran, the word comes from the ketel, which is crown, a king's crown. So Catran is a person who makes crowns.
Whoa, that's a pretty unique name. Quite fitting for someone with such a unique background in tech. Speaking of which, I'd like to know, why should we pursue the creation of a startup ecosystem? How did you start?
I began my involvement in startups in Israel. And as you know, Israel is renowned to be the startup nation of the world just because per capita, per million, we have the greatest number of startups. Startups for us now became a kind of a culture. So when you see something new, you don't say, hey, this is new. You say, hey, that's a startup. So everything which initiates an idea, something new, okay, would be for us a startup. My involvement was that, well, startup people are a bit different than the usual people. They have it tough all the way. They need to fight all the way. They don't have money, okay? They have to keep their day jobs. But they're very creative. They out-of-the-box thinkers. They're very independent. They believe they can push mountains. So they have certain abilities which are very unique, okay? And I love working with such people, and I feel one of them. So this is really what motivated me to engage, to learn more about startups. And little by little, I became, addicted maybe, if I can say, into mentoring and assisting young entrepreneurs. And when I say young in Israel, we start age 15. We start teaching entrepreneurship, okay, at school. And then we in a way grow this ecosystem, and it's a way for us to create innovation.
That's very interesting. Learning how different we are from one place to another. As an entrepreneur, I do hope Mexico can be a little bit more like it. Speaking of, do you think that being an entrepreneur is like being a unicorn? I mean, that there's only a few who truly are born to be one?
First of all, I think when you speak about entrepreneurship, I think you will get only positive words come to mind. Independent, self-reliant, consistent, hardworking, creative. These are all good words. So to be an entrepreneur, first of all, is a good thing. I think that many people have it within them. But I want to say something very important. Startups are not for everyone. And if you don't have a startup, it doesn't say anything about you. Now, it became like a kind of, cult, a kind of a culture that everyone needs to have a startup. No, it's okay to have your job. And, it's a more secure way maybe. But I think everyone has this butterfly inside. How do you say butterfly in your language?
But in Spanish, we can also say mariposa.
Mariposa that wants to break out. But problem is It's risky. And people don't like to take a risk. Why? I should leave my job, my day job, which is secure, and I know where I'm going, and start something which will probably fail because 96% of startups fail. It doesn't make sense to most people, but to others it does. There are those people who say, you know, I feel it inside of me, I want to break out, I want to do something, and they go and do their startups.
96% failure. Whoa. I know a thing or two about that. I had my own soda company called Unicornio, and well, let's say it didn't go that well. What about you, Tal? What do you think of an entrepreneur's failures?
Kori, amazing question, thank you. Failure is a major milestone to success. You will not succeed if you will not fail. I know it doesn't sound maybe logical or make sense, but this is startup world. If you failed your first startup, you fall to the ground, you bleed your heart out, you cried out, you stand up again, and you start a new one. It says something about you. Number one, for sure, you're different now. You have experience. People speak about experience, but you feel the experience, and you know what you will do better the next time. Second, investors. Well, investors will ask you, have you failed before? If the answer is no, well, they say to themselves, statistically, it will happen on my watch. Go fail somewhere else and come back to me. We need to discuss failure. Failure is okay. I say, embrace failure, don't fall in love with failure. You don't need to fail all the way. You need to succeed some. But yes, embrace it, understand, speak about it. You do not need to be embarrassed. Because if you are, that's the holdback. This is why you will not try. You will not explore. You say, I'm going to fail. Not a way to go. So this is my view about failure.
Well, speaking of that, I'm still very keen on starting up my cola business again. I know the product is the right one, but I just need to change the way I sell it. What would you recommend I change in the way I approach investors, Tal?
Good question again. So how do investors think? It is very important to understand that while entrepreneurs feel that when an investor invests in their company, and well, the deal is very clear. Investor gives money and gets what we call equity, shares in the company. That's the deal. Very simple. But for the entrepreneur, where his startup is, it's his baby. He doesn't just give paper. He doesn't think about equity as he thinks as equity is part of his body. This is why when he thinks this way and he tries to speak this way to the investor looks at him and says, what the hell are you talking about? For me, to invest, it's like buying a chair. It's like buying a car. I give money, I'll get a product. It's different. Those investors, they will sit with their friends, and they will say, I invested in this company who does so and so. You know what? In most cases, they will not even download the app. They will never use the technology. But for them, it's for the money. This is how they do business. Their money is safer under the floor than in any startup. And they know it, and the startup. But for some reason, there are those entrepreneurs who are good salespeople. They do great marketing. They convince the investor to give the money. I think the deal is clear. I think the mindset needs also to be clear. Well, if you, by the way, most times when a startup and an investor meet, well, he has technology, he has money. And the conversation from the startup will be, I need your money. Listen, when did you ever turn to a person which you know for 5 minutes and tell him, I want $1 million of your money? Are you serious? Who are you? I'm saying, get to know one another in a different way. Don't go straight away and say, I need your money. Let's discuss a bit about a problem that you might encounter. Get the investor's experience. Date a bit. You don't jump, into bed. You date a bit before you ask for the money. Might be that if you will pitch to me in a way, and I look at you and you look adorable. I know probably you also speak well because you're a good businessman. And by the way, I'm very interested in what you do. And by the way, I invest in what you do. The one thing that didn't happen is you did not say, Tal, I need your money. You just say, I want your opinion. I want your experience. What do you think? If I'm so interested, I will not ask, Kori, where's your money coming from? Who is investing in you? And you say, well, by the way, interesting question. I'm now looking for the money. The only thing that happened, I proposed. And this is not a trick. This is how people are. So this is how I would recommend go about it. And you know, I might be interested.
Well, maybe we can talk about some business later. But for now, Tal, I know that you have great expertise in the cybersecurity area. I am interested to know your opinion on the tasks and challenges of this sector. I mean, do you think people nowadays are aware of the real threat that hackers can pose to their personal online security, or they simply not care?
They're not aware. I think most people are not aware. People, I think by nature, are not walking around thinking there is someone there that want to hurt them on purpose. Otherwise, we will wear a shield and walk like this in the street. You don't walk like this. You walk because you don't think someone is there to hurt you. It's about being aware. Now, being aware about cyber doesn't mean, again, that you need to actually wear a shield. Just have the right shield wherever your information is. Come on, who doesn't keep his Visa card number on his phone? Come on, how stupid can you be? How many of us, their clever password is 123, their birthday name and something? Come on, this is how hackers do. They fish, they try, they know the nature. Do not be mistaken. Hackers are super brilliant people. These are the top-notch people in our society. Super clever, very educated. Okay? Do not be mistaken for a second. This is why what they are very aware of is to think how other people think. If you heard my lecture now, it was a lot about saying things that people know and feel and think about it anyway. So yes, I think people are not aware enough about cyber. I think that if they will also have the ability to know what to do about it, something that they can do themselves, I think some of them at least will do something about it. And for sure, when it happens to you, well, number one, it's too late. But then you stand and you tell everyone, listen, this happened to me. I will really recommend you to do it another way. I think we should deal with it. I think it's the time now to stand out and just make people aware.
Thank you, Tal. Now, as you know, our show has the aim of sharing others' experiences. Like you have well stated in this interview, one of the most important things of being an entrepreneur is, number one, experiencing things yourself, and two, asking for the experience of others. Would you share a little bit about your experience with us on just how hard it is to start a startup?
Any startup, any business, but for sure any startup needs to have two basic answers to begin with. He needs to have a good answer for the need. He needs to know that the need, the problem, the pain he's trying to solve is real. By the way, newsflash, asking your mother and father if that's a good idea doesn't really work. Your mother loves you and your father adores you, and they will say, wow, to one another, what a clever son we have. Oh, our daughter, you see, I told her. It's not the way. By the way, doing the same for your friends, what do you think your friends will say? Yeah, he's stupid. No, they love you. So no, you need to go out. People then tell me, Tal, but if I go out and I say what I want to do, people will steal it from me. Relax, relegio. This, okay, tranquilo. This happens only on Facebook movie, that something was stolen. Listen, to take an idea from a person needs energy greater than the sun. Because it's about believing in your idea. It's living the problem. It's something which comes from within you. No one will take it away from you and make a fortune. So I think you need to have a need and a business model. By the way, business model equals how you're going to get money. How you're going to earn your money. By the way, if I'm an investor, I'm saying, how are you going to repay my investment? With what? With kisses, beers, pizza. Doesn't work. Money. So this is to begin. Then you must have a team. Now, team in the beginning could be you yourself as, let's say, the visionary and a technical person. Needs to have two. Investors like to invest in 2 and 3 people, not a 1 and not a 4. 1, no redundancy. You're gone, you're gone. His money is gone. 2, better. 3, even better. But 3 need to have different title and different responsibility. A business developer and a marketing are same person. CTO is 1. The visionary, the CEO, is the responsible of bringing the money, of doing the marketing is a 2, is enough. This is how to begin with. Then, money issue. Before you run to an investor, please wait. Develop what we call an MVP, a POC, a proof of concept. MVP is a bit higher, minimal viable product. Get it out to the market as soon as you can. Try it out. Then, come back to the investor and say, listen, so this is my MVP. I have tried it. I moved out and I found first adopters. They tried my technology. They are here in the room. It's not a nobody. It's not a J. Doe. This is a person. His name is Tal. You can ask him. Well, yeah, I want to be a customer. I'm not going to invest in the company, but I want to use it. So the investor says, listen, I see a person who can walk the walk, talk the talk, develop the technology, go out and find a potential customer, come back to the room. Well, I'm not taking a big risk. I'll go for it. This is how it needs to be done.
Whoa, that was incredible. I think I speak for all of my team when I say that was perhaps one of the most detailed tutorials anyone has ever given us. Thank you very much for the interview, for being here. And yes, at least I know I have a lot to work on to get back to you. Who knows? Maybe we can start Unicola Israel with the proper strategy. Thank you again, Tal, for being with us today.
Please reach out to me. Thank you so much for this, Kori. Good luck.
You heard them. Get your teams together, your POCs, CTOs, your CEOs, your dreams, your thoughts, your ideas. And I will see you next time to answer who will be the next unicorn on our show. I have been your host, Cornelius Solaris III, and this was Unicornio Pitch. Until next time.